All right, welcome one and all. Fancy meeting you here. It's the drinker this evening, and as most of you probably know, I did a stream with Count Dankula on Thursday night, but we didn't manage to get through all the super chats because there was just too many. And since it's Sunday night and I've got about 2 hours until the England-Italy kick-off, I thought, fuck it, I'll just try and get them done now. So here I am. I'm going to do my best to answer them all. Excuse me, I've got to wet my whistle here. All right. How far did we get? By the way, look, I got a poster for Black Widow, my favorite movie, up on my wall. That's because I enjoyed it that much. All right, let's see what we got here. As far as I got last time was Caveman Dave. So yeah, the next one was from SP Fox. And he said, can't understand any of you speak American. Aye, that's the problem when you've got two Scottish guys together. I think we bring each other's accents out even more because most of the time I soften mine a bit. Especially if I'm speaking to an American, I got to tone it down a little bit. But never mind. It was a good stream anyway. Richard Curtis says, what should I mix Buckfast with to make a decent drink? Probably the Drain, to be honest. You're not going to do much good with Buckfast, I got to be honest with you. Thomas Chipperfield says, please do a video on The Ghost in the Darkness. The story based on the man-eaters of Savo would make an excellent Animal Mad Lads too. Yeah, I've seen Ghost in the Darkness. It was Val Kilmer and someone else who I can't remember off the top of my head. But I remember it being a pretty good movie. I enjoyed it. So I'd be happy to review that one. Sean McD says, are you ever going to see Captain Kirk again? I'm sorry, I mean Bill Shatner. Yeah, I was meant to be going to see him do a live Q&A. It was going to be like a special evening, or screening, should I say, of The Wrath of Khan, and then he would do a Q&A afterwards. But with the beer bug and everything in the way, they had to cancel it. So I don't know if he's going to be back in Scotland again ever. I've not heard anything more about it, which kind of sucks. Oh yeah, people were mentioning here as well. Michael Douglas was the other guy in that movie, Ghost in the Darkness. So, good one. What's the next one? Saint says, don't feel bad about taking my money, drinker. Supporting bad habits and movie reviews had become a hobby of me as of late. I've been making the rounds asking about Hush to make sure I didn't imagine the whole thing. Cool. Well, thank you very much for your donations anyway, man. I really appreciate it. Metala said, Grave of the Fireflies is fantastic animated film. It's just life. Be grateful for what you have. Yeah, I've heard that it's an awesome movie. So, yeah. John Burns says, if you like corporations warring in a sci-fi show, check out Dark Matter. 6 people wake up in a derelict spaceship with no idea who they are. Okay. Sounds all right. ShapeSnatch says, greetings from Ireland, Will and Marcus. Massive fans of both of you. Question, what are your absolute favourite movies of all time? I can't answer for Dank, but I will anyway. I'll just say Braveheart is his favourite movie of all time. Mine is probably the one you see behind me, not Black Widow, the other one, Big Trouble in Little China. Just think it's a fantastic, fun movie, and I just have a total blast with it every time I see it. It's clearly not high art, and it's not going to win any Oscars, but I just enjoy it. I think it's great. What's the next one? Tangent Whisperer says, big fan of both you lads. Love Drinker's insight into storytelling, filmmaking, as well as Dankula's Mad Lad series. You both make me wish I was more Scottish. Show no mercy to Alien 3, Ripley at a new one. We did pretty much. I mean, I think we tried to be as fair with it as we could be. You know, we looked for any sort of positives where we found them, but yeah, overall we both had a pretty downer sort of opinion on it. Shame, but it's just that kind of movie, I guess. But thank you for the donation. John Papa Sergio says, Alien 3 is my favorite of them. I think it's more so the setting and feel of the film than the actual story. Yeah, I mean, the setting's fine. Like, you've got a big dingy environment. You know, it's really gritty and industrial, and you know, loads of dark corridors and stuff. That's all fine. It's just your standard Alien setting, I suppose. And the fact that it's a prison makes it a little bit different. You know, these guys don't have weapons; they're not trained or anything like that. It's just the story around it is just gash. Digital Demonic Davros says, just finished your 5th book, Drinker. Love them. Thank you very much, and appreciate you buying them. What's the next one? Andre Jones says, Count Dankula. So my son comes in and says, I know him. Nice. AS Falcon 13 says, sports films, check out Goon. Excellent hockey movie. Liev Schreiber as Ross, the boss Rhea is classic. Okay. I ain't seen it, but it sounds good. John Oakletree says, the sad thing about Ripley's story is that even though it takes place over 60 years, she's really only awake for a couple of months of it. Yeah, that's the weird thing, because there's a line she has in Alien 3 where she's like tracked the alien down into the basement of the prison. She's trying to lure it out to attack her. And she's like, you've been in my life so long, I can't remember anything else. I was like, what do you mean? Like, you know, you had an entire life before the alien incident, and then you were in cryo sleep, and then you were probably defrosted for like a couple of months before the events of Aliens, and then you went back into cryo sleep again. So you've hardly had any experience with the aliens. But yeah, it was obviously just put in there to build up the story, I guess. Sia Mayola says, nah, it'll be fine. It will be fine. And beer always helps. John Burns says, R.I.P. Bill Paxton. But we knew Hudson was going to die. Man, I was getting short. A few more weeks left to bite it on this rock. Yeah, Bill Paxton was the man. He was awesome. And it was great. Like, I watched the behind-the-scenes documentary for Aliens, and I remember one bit where Ripley, or Sigourney Weaver, was talking about how, you know, she had to fire guns for the movie, and she gave this really long, rambling answer about how she was uncomfortable with it, but then she started to enjoy it a little bit when they were capping off like rounds with the pulse rifle, and then she felt guilty about that. And then it cuts to Bill Paxton, and he's like, hell yeah, I love shooting guns. I'm from Texas. It's great fun. I was like, that's the perfect answer, man. That's all you had to say. I gotta love the guy. John McCarthy says, two absolute mad lads. Drinker, I asked you about cigars on your last stream. Here's a couple of bucks for one. Nice one. I recommend the Perdomo Maduro. I'm not really a big cigar aficionado. I've smoked them a few times in my life, usually when I'm really drunk. But yeah, I would like to get into like a proper brandy and a cigar. You know, that's when I know I've made it in life. If I can sit in a big high-backed leather chair with my brandy and cigar, I'll be all right. Sean McD says the Critical Drinker Friday Night Tights is going to be epic. It was. I really enjoyed that. You know, I could only stay for like 2 or 3 hours, but it was a great stream, great fun, and I'll try and do it more often in future. Just give me 1 second to catch up with these. The Board Observer says Alien 3 was cruel to Ripley. She loses everything twice. Yeah. Pretty much, and I think that's the problem that most of us had with it. All the good things that happened at the end of Aliens just all get taken away, and she's lost everything, everyone. She's dying. Kind of sucks, really. The KC Surge says, Drinker, my Bull Durham Super Chat was the first one I've ever seen. I've been with you since you were at 100,000 subs. You're a great man. Cheers. Thank you very much, man, and I appreciate the support all this time. God, it's... the channel's come a long way since then, I guess. Standing While Pooping says, good stuff, Drinker. Cheers. Thank you very much. HP Lovecraft. Nice of you to resurrect yourself, man. Hey, Drinker, big fan. Loved the stream and was wondering if you'd talk to Razorfist about Blade Runner. It's his favorite movie. Also mine. Yeah, I mean, I gave it a Drinker recommends, so I can't say better than that. And if he wants to talk about it, yeah, I'll see if I can sort something out. I kind of let like people's recommendations guide some of these happy hours. You know, there's been times when people wanted me to talk to a certain YouTuber, and most of the time you can just approach them and make it happen. So I've been lucky so far. The Carbonator says, hey, Drinker, love your stuff, man. I wanted to ask if you ever watch any reviews by Voxus Productions. I don't know. I don't watch too much of his stuff. To be honest, I'm not too familiar with him. But I have done a few EFAP live streams with him. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, I'm not too across what he does though. Leo Film says, Drinker, don't say Das Boot, say Das Boat instead. 200 is just a long O for oo sounds we use you. Fair enough. Das Boat. Fair enough. I'll keep that in mind for when I review it, actually. Stuffy Junk says, I know you reviewed Miyazaki's Castle in the Sky a few months ago, so I'd like to recommend his debut film, Lupin III, The Castle of Cagliostro. It's an action-adventure movie similar to Indie. I had no idea about that, so nice one. I'll give it a watch. DT says, Drinker, you stupendous bastard. Don't stop and don't ever change. Well, thank you. I won't do either of those things. Sia Mayola says, nah, it'll be fine. Thank you very much. Yo Jimbo says, did you know that they painted Stan Winston's alien queen shite brown for Alien 4? Biggest tragedy of the film, in my opinion. I don't know. There was a lot of tragedies in Alien 4, like the fact that it got made for one. I think the alien baby at the end was just fucking disaster. It's got like a skull for a face. What are you doing? That was just a movie where the whole franchise was out of ideas. Such a shit film. Daniel Monroe says, my book is called The Taste Beneath. Your vids were a massive learning experience for me in terms of plot and character development. Cheers, Drinker. Thank you. I'm glad it's been useful. Patient Elijah gave me a super sticker for $5, so thank you. John Burns says, are many woke people not aware of how much Vin Diesel loves family? Most complaints from them are things they could have gotten through their family. Woke people probably hate everything, and I don't imagine they have families or anyone who loves them. That's why they are the way they are. But yeah, family's the solution to everything. Just looking in normal chat here as well. Faro27 said, which film was worse, Captain Marvel or Black Widow? I'd say Captain Marvel, to be honest. Although, you know, Black Widow had lots of issues, but it wasn't like obnoxiously bad as much as Captain Marvel was. So yeah, it gets a little bit of sympathy from me in that score, and I would definitely put it above Captain Marvel. I know which one I'd rather watch more. And I know who I'd rather see in a film, you know, Scarlett Johansson or Brie Larson. Yeah, no contest there. Like, DM says, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen has been reviewed. No, I haven't reviewed it yet. I just remember it being kind of shit, really. It's like Sean Connery's last movie, and it was a bit of a waste of time. Philip Proctor gave me a £2 super sticker, so thank you. John Burns says, I've got to say Scotland edges out Canada for being woke by Pug's Nose named Buddha. If you can't remember, ask your good friend Count Dankula. Yeah, I know all about that. Yeah, Scotland's got some very sketchy history with all this stuff, and it's getting worse. Marty Gray says, great sports movie, Basketball. Okay. WG, greetings from the US, or AKA the land of the round doorknob. Do you ever match a certain drink to a film? I'd recommend Everclear straight out of the bottle in a paper bag for the Star Wars sequel trilogy. All the best, man. Great show. Thank you. I don't know if I associate a certain drink with a certain movie or anything like that. Most of the time, it's like I just fucking anything to get me through it. Especially with modern films. Bleach is probably the best thing. Patient Elijah says, sorry for reposting. I posted my previous 2 posts incorrectly. What would you rate Last of Us Part 2 on a scale of 1 to 10? Probably a 4. In terms of graphics and stuff, all fine. Gameplay mechanics are a bit unimaginative. The big open world seems like a waste of time because there's really not that much to explore and there's not much reward for doing it. And yeah, the story is just the thing that really lets it down. Just garbage, really badly conceived. So yeah, I'm going to say 4 out of 10, and I'm being kind of generous there. Charles Hurst says, this is a bit late, but watch Nobody with Bob Odenkirk. Great throwback to non-political, unapologetic fun. Yeah, a good mate of mine's seen that, and he really enjoyed it. And you know, Bob Odenkirk, your most unlikely of action heroes, but I think that's good sometimes. Like, they can sometimes really pull something out the bag and surprise you, and I like that. So, yeah, I'll definitely give it a watch one way or the other. I don't know if I'll have time for a review, but hopefully so. I think there's a few super chats that have come in just while I was talking here. Actually, I'm just looking through chat as well. So, Justin Sliddle says, "I'm psyched for the Dune remake. I'm praying it's good. Have you ever watched the original, the Lynch movie?" Yeah, I've seen the original. Yeah, I think they were quite constrained by the technology and stuff at the time, so it looks a bit goofy. But they took a good stab at him. I'll give it that. But I am interested to see what Villeneuve does with the new one, because the trailer looked decent. So hopefully they're going to get it right. You know, for a book that came out like 60 years ago or something, man, we've been waiting long enough for a good Dune movie. What's the next super chat here? Ellie Garib says, great your content, bro. Keep it up. Thank you. Daniel Monroe says, was a great stream, Drinker. Sorry for the spam again. My brain was turning into scrambled egg by that point. So was mine. That's why I had to fucking end it at that point. I was looking through all the super chats and I thought, I'm never going to get through all these tonight. Or if I do, I'll just end up giving like one-word answers to everyone. So I really wanted to just, come at it fresh. So he also says, looking forward to the next one. Good stuff. Hopefully we'll have a good one lined up. Sante said, what about Tenacious D, The Pick of Destiny? Decent film. Yeah, made me laugh. It's all right. I'm not like a massive fan of Jack Black, but it was fine. And Syntaxis Dogmata says, I join, and the first thing I hear is, no, it'll be fine. That alone earns my super chat. Thank you. Anti-Derivative Jill gave me a super sticker, so thank you. Unicorn one, no less. Boyo says, I rewatched for the 500th time Uncommon Valor. After some years today, it still fucking got me. Can you please share your general thoughts of it? Cheers. I haven't seen Uncommon Valor, I don't think, so I couldn't tell you, but it's on my list for sure because loads of people have talked to me about it, so I need to give it a watch for sure. OK Native says, what movie will you review with Chrissy Meyer? I don't know. We were just on Friday Night Tights together. I don't think we've got anything planned, really. But I know we're in touch on Twitter, so who knows? Maybe she's wanting to review something. SteveK says, what do you think about Aliens versus Planet of the Apes? What, in terms of comparing the two films? I'd go for Aliens, put it that way. Flubber11 USA says, happy late fuck England day, top 5 US presidents. I don't know. I'm not an expert on US presidents. Washington, Lincoln, Reagan, fucking... who was president during World War II? Roosevelt. Yeah, he was a good one. And fuck it, Teddy Roosevelt as well. We'll pick both the Roosevelts because, dynasties and all that. Discman15 give me a £5 super chat or $5, so thanks, man. Daniel Monroe says, have you seen 13 Ghosts? If so, what did you make of it? Yeah, I've seen that, actually. It was just like a crazy, really frantically edited movie. I remember lots of shots of the ghosts that looked like they were in a fucking nightclub because there was like loads of strobe effects going off and you couldn't see them properly and it was all very jerky and stuff and quick cuts. I think it was just a kind of, almost like a lighthearted horror, if that makes sense. Like, I didn't think you were meant to get too invested in it, but there was plenty of gory deaths and stuff from what I remember, so it was all right. Didn't blow me away or anything. Just a second. Have I seen Copland with Stallone? That was from Z-Man the Mercenary. Yeah, I have. Yeah. It was good. It was like that period where Stallone was really trying to like branch out from like typical action movies and do stuff that was a bit more serious. I think Bruce Willis was doing roughly the same thing at the same time. And I don't know if Stallone was trying to follow his lead, but I know that, he gained a lot of weight for it. He's playing this kind of schlubby, out of shape, small town sheriff. And yeah, he gave a pretty decent performance. It was like a chance for him to just show that he can do more than just, shoot guns and run around screaming. And it was an all right movie, decent cast as well. So, yeah, it's a shame it didn't get more attention. They didn't get much recognition at the time. Like, I think it got decent reviews, but nobody really went and saw it, which is a real shame. Back to the super chats. SteveK gave me $50. Thank you very much, man. You didn't even put a super chat in there. You just gave me it. So thank you. I appreciate it. Discman15 says, Drinker, you Cadillac of Scotsman. Live forever. Drink one on me, mate. Thank you very much, and I shall. The Craig Lee Lawrence Experience says, I'm thankful for the stuff you do and your books. Damn, man, you got to talk about Turbo Kid, and I'd love to do a stream with you one day on anything. Cool, thank you very much. I've not seen Turbo Kid, but I'm sure someone's asked me about that in a previous stream, so I'll need to give it a look. JJ gave me £50, so thank you very much. Love your videos, Drinker. Here, take this. Thank you, dude. Like, honestly, that's really generous. Gogo Fuki says, recommend good movies more often instead of destroying Netflix products. I do. You know, I've got a whole second channel, Critical Drinker After Hours, which is pretty much devoted to just praising movies that I love. So there's a whole ton of like positive reviews there. Go take a look. Hopefully there's some good ones. Ken B gave me $5, says, analysis is spot on. You've supplied me with too many laughs because of truth. Go away now. Thank you very much. And yeah, I think the truth nowadays is like you can't help but laugh of it because that's the kind of world we're living in, sadly. Also from the Craig Lee Lawrence Experience. Also, I guess anything is kind of too wide of a statement. I love horror films and I'm displeased with the direction the horror genre has gone, so I would love to discuss something horror related. Okay. Yeah, so you know, I've had a few people get in touch with me over the months, you know, and I've been able to do the occasional stream with like just subscribers or whatever. I don't know if you personally have got a YouTube channel or anything because I can't see it here, but yeah, it's something I try and do. I try and balance out, like, you know, doing streams with like bigger established sort of content creators, but also like other people who are just starting out or, you know, people who just want to talk. So yeah, I'll try and work something out if I can. Hot Indie Media says, 3,000 Miles to Graceland is one of my favorite guilty pleasure films. Any plans on doing a video for that? God, that's the one I haven't seen in a while. What a cast in it. I remember that. Yeah, pretty good movie from what I remember. It is one of those ones that you do enjoy it when you see it. I'll need to think about whether I can do a review for that, whether I've got time. Mark Sparkman says, why does your catchphrase sound like an ad for, I can't even pronounce that, Aclover, Acylclover? I don't know. It's just, it seemed like the right thing to do, so I just went with it. Azrael1984 says, do you think that Aliens vs. Predator was gross and dumb? Yeah, I do. It was a shit film, and what a waste of two great franchises. Kizu says, Drinker, would love to hear your thoughts and reviews on Sunshine. Sunshine, I'm talking like Sean Connery now. Would you consider making a video about it? No one seems to ever talk about it. I would consider it. Like, I never really I was never blown away by it. Like, the visuals were good. The kind of treatment of, like, you know, the spaceship and the physics around it and how dangerous, like, the sun gets, like, as they approach it. How it can just incinerate you instantly. That was all really good. I thought that the story and plot itself was a little bit labored. And it got a bit like almost abstract towards the end. But it might be an interesting one to talk about because I do love a good sci-fi movie. Let's Make Unicorn Burgers. Always a good idea. Says, mate, what happened to your Fantastic Four Rocketeer reviews? I was saving those for a special occasion. The Rocketeer one's there. That's just up on my second channel. As for the Fantastic Four, yeah, I had to take that down. What can I say? I was contacted and I was told in no uncertain terms that if I didn't, then there would be legal repercussions. So they had to come down, sadly. And it wasn't a hill I was prepared to die on. Not for a video like that. So yeah, it was shit, but there it goes. But yeah, the Rocketeer one should be fine. Gizmo says, in regards to writing novels, how many is too many in a series? I have 15 to 20 planned in a series, broken up by sagas, and it all seems too vital to cut. Man, I mean, it just depends on your genre. If they're all part of an interconnected story, yeah, 15 to 20 is probably too much. If they're standalone to some extent, but with the same characters, you can keep going forever. I mean, fucking guys like Lee Child have done like 20 or 25 Jack Reacher books. Like those things just never seem to end, and he just keeps churning them out, and they all do well. So I guess it just depends on the format. But yeah, if you've got like a big overarching story, I don't think you can keep that going for more than 10 books, if that. I mean, that's pretty much what I ended up doing. I think I did 9 novels in the Ryan Drake series because I just couldn't keep spinning it out. It wasn't fair. And I think people would just start to get pissed off if they felt like I was just wasting their time. E.L. Cohen gave me 15 ILS, so I'm sorry, I don't know what that is, but thank you for your donation. Yeah, so I was saying this on Friday Night Tights. It's always funny when someone donates in a currency that I don't know, and I'm like, is that a lot? I have no idea. What's the next one? Darth Story says, as someone who enjoys your analysis on contemporary politics, please check out Legend of the Galactic Heroes, 1988 series. You won't be disappointed. Wow, I've never even heard of that one. Back from the 80s. Okay, I'll take a look. Azrael 1984 says, Aliens versus Predator 2 is what I meant. My bad. I mean, they're both bad, to be honest. Like, neither one's particularly great. But yeah, Aliens versus Predator Requiem is just absolute dog shit. And why call it Requiem? It's like the most pretentious title for something that's absolutely not smart or has any aspirations to be anything like particularly high-minded. It's such a dumb thing to do. Yeah, I just remember it being shit. Daniel Monroe says, another drink on me, sir. Enjoy the match. Thank you. Ellie's gay, by the way. Yeah, I never would have known. They only remind us every 2 minutes in Last of Us 2, so it's not enough for me. Neighbours Goat says, greetings from Romania. Greetings to you, sir. Thank you. Keep up the good work. Thanks very much, man, and thanks for the donation. Travis Guy says, The Green Mile, hands down my top 5 movie. What do you think? Fantastic film. Yeah, really good. Great performances, great cast, very moving. And man, that electric chair scene, fucking always wet the sponge. Jesus. Bird Up says, we'd love to see you do a video about Darkman. Yeah, that was an early Raimi movie, wasn't it? I remember it being quite funny and quite enjoyable. So yeah, I'd like to do that. Wormy Spoons says, what dreams may come review, please, Mr. Drinker. Good film. Good film. Yeah. So many of these classics that I hope to get round to eventually. It's finding the time, isn't it? Adam B says, I politely request that you take that Black Widow poster off your wall. That movie was awful and I want to forget it exists. I know, but I get to look at Scarlett Johansson. What can I say, man? Eric McAllister says, spare bedroom turned into an office due to COVID. You get me through the corporate admin schedule better than a pint of local brew. Eternal thanks. Well, why not have both? You can watch my stuff while drinking. It's great. Meh Lol says, what are the major things of writing books? Words? I don't know. Like being organized, I suppose, having a plot that you really feel passionate about and making the time to do it, because man, it's a slog. And if you're not really invested in what you're doing, you'll get bored and you'll stop. And like so many people who set out to write a book, they end up dying at the midpoint with it and they just give up on it because they can't be bothered anymore. So you got to make sure you don't fall into that trap. Paul 2 says, kind of weird that old low-budget horror movies give us some amazing times, but their sequels are either cash grabs or bad continuations. Thoughts? I mean, generally, yeah, because they're trying to capitalize on the same idea. So they're not produced from a mindset of creativity. They're produced from a mindset of making money, and that's why it's a cash grab. And that's the classic problem that sequels run into. There's very few examples of them really improving on it. And James Cameron, sadly, is like the best example of like producing great sequels to older movies. You know, T2 and Aliens, both big improvements over the originals. Bobble Snap says, keep it up, drinker. By the way, have you seen Kung Fury? Yes, I fucking have. I've done a live stream on it. A shining example of subtle character and plot development. It's funny as fuck. I love it. I love how over the top it is. It's great. OK Native says, do you ever think about how much of Scotland Sean Connery would own if he had taken the role of Gandalf with the back-end deal they offered him? Yes. Oh, that poor man. He turned down roles in Lord of the Rings and The Matrix. because he didn't understand the source material, and so he was like, no, I'm not going to get involved in this. And he missed out on insane amounts of money. And then apparently he took League of Extraordinary Gentlemen because he was like, well, I don't understand that either, but I guess like I should take some kind of role. I know these other ones have worked out well, so I'm sure this one will too. So wrong he was. But yeah, you can't imagine what fucking Sean Connery as Gandalf would have been. Andy McCallum says, Drinker, I'm thinking about starting my own channel soon. What tips would you give me when it comes to scripting and editing a video? Thank you. I suppose get to the point really quickly, because you got to grab your audience and get their attention and start telling them things that are interesting really quickly, because people have got a pretty low tolerance for this nowadays on YouTube. You can't have an intro, especially not one that goes on for like 30 seconds, because everyone fucking hates them. You need to just get straight into the meat of what you're trying to say. If you can be funny and engaging as well, great. If you can drop in interesting like bits of editing, all positive things that are just going to keep people engaged. So yeah, you've just got to get to the point and kind of get a video that's succinct and hopefully make some good points that people actually like agree with. John Oakletree says, recommending the movie Sorcerer. There's no sorcerer in it. It does have Roy Scheider firing dynamite through dense jungle to put out an oil fire. I mean, what more can you ask for, really? Yeah, I'm a big fan of Roy Scheider, actually, since he's done, I did 2010 as a review recently, and I fucking love that film. And obviously he's done Jaws and stuff. Great actor, great character actor. Eric Hild says, your channel is a vacation from world wokeness. Drink up. Indeed, that's what we all need, is a fucking vacation from this garbage. So, yeah, I try to provide it, and I try to recommend movies that will provide it as well. What's the next one? Crazy Horse says, Hilldrinker, what are your thoughts on the Neil Blomkamp version of Alien 5 that unfortunately was cancelled? Yeah, I wish it had gotten made. Like, I see the production stills and stuff, and they look great. Like, Neil Blomkamp is exactly the kind of guy you want directing an Alien movie. He does that kind of gritty, low-level sci-fi really well, and I think it would have been good. Shame we'll probably never see it. The Schmidt House says, I can't tell you how bitter I still am about Game of Thrones. I wish they would remake Season 8 or finish plot lines with Season 9. Also, any thoughts on Pandorum with Dennis Quaid? It's interesting. When it comes to Game of Thrones, yeah, I think a lot of people still feel like that. They'll never remake it, clearly. Like, they've done it and they moved on. The actors have all moved on. They won't do a Season 9. They're going to try and do these shitty prequels that no one cares about now. So, I think they're kind of wasting their time. George R.R. Martin's going to busy himself doing anything except writing his fucking books. So, don't expect Winds of Winter anytime soon. It just seems like such a shame and kind of a waste. Kizu says, thank you for considering it and for being the coolest drinker in the known universe that we all didn't know we needed. Never stop being that. Toast to that. Thank you. And I appreciate it. That was for 68.98 SGDs. Well, I don't know what that is, but sounds good. Let's Make Unicorn Burgers says, please post Fantastic Four on your Patreon. By the way, ever check out The Big Hit? It's mindless, actiony fun. Okay. No, I haven't seen it yet, but I think even if I put it on my Patreon, I'd probably still run into the same problem. The Craig Lee Lawrence Experience gave me a $10 super sticker, so thank you very much. Jonathan Mulryan says, Cinderella Man, a really good movie that could have been great, might be worth a review. It is really good. Yeah, Russell Crowe is great in it. It's a classic, like, redemption story. This guy that gets injured as a boxer and like he's forced to take like dock work during the Depression and eventually makes his comeback. It's brilliant. I think it misrepresents Max Baer really unfairly. I know they did it for the sake of cinema, but like the guy in real life was a really nice guy. And the movie portrays him almost as like a cold-hearted killer. Like he killed a guy in the ring from hitting him. And in real life, he was absolutely distraught by that, and it almost ended his career. So a little bit unfair there, but I guess you have to do what you do for drama. Jake Blankenship says, have you seen The Long Kiss Goodnight? Stars Sam Jackson and Gina Davis. Yeah, fucking have. It takes place in the 90s and follows an amnesiac badass. So Captain Marvel, but good. Yeah, Gina Davis is really good. Who would have thought of her as an action hero? But like she properly like got buffed up for it. She's good with the weapons in it. She's pretty convincing. Sam Jackson is obviously great. And it was it was a script from what's his name? Shane Black. Yeah. Obviously a really prolific screenwriter in the 80s and early 90s. And apparently it was one of the most expensive scripts ever written. So, damn, yeah. I just feel like the movie never got that much attention somehow. I don't know why. George says, how long before we see your work on the big screen? Will it be Ryan Drake or something new? I mean, hopefully you'll see it. Like, I'm under contract for the first book. They're trying to make a movie out of it. They were all held up over the past year by COVID. So, you know, hopefully it happens. I just don't know. I don't have any control over it. Just 1 second. Kevo says, Drinker, I love your content and your excellent taste in whiskey. Thank you. Try Angel's Envy Finished Rye. It's glorious. Are you going to do a stream commentary on the Dirty Harry series? Cheers, mate. Yeah, so rye whiskey does weird things to me. I love drinking it. It just seems to give me an absolutely stinking hangover for some reason. So it's a double-edged sword, really. Normally, I don't get hangovers from whiskey. The Dirty Harry films, yeah, fantastic movies. And I will try and do something with them, either scripted reviews or live streams. Bird Up says, when are you reviewing Game of Thrones? Who is the old guy that appears when you say, fuck off show? That clip is awesome. That's... that's Father Jack from a comedy series called Father Ted. So yeah, he's an alcoholic priest that basically sits in a chair throughout the whole show, and he'll only like wake up and say things like "fuck off" or "drink." He's just legendary, great guy, and great show. I honestly recommend Father Ted as a really funny show. Charles Ham says, really enjoy your reviews of movies. Have you ever seen or would you see a 1981 movie called Taps? Had a very big cast and the story was very good. Would really like to see you review this movie. Taps? No, I've not seen that, but I can take a look. Daniel Monroe says, what would you say is the most realistic disaster and war movies? Damn. War movies, it would probably be Saving Private Ryan. Yeah, I mean, never having been in a war myself, I couldn't tell you for sure, but like in terms of the formations, the tactics, the weapons, the way action scenes play out, I'd say that's probably your best shot. Disaster movies, fucking hell, like they're all pretty like over the top and just played for action rather than anything else. I can't think of a disaster movie that was particularly realistic. So yeah, I couldn't really name one there for you. Ruler of All Cheese says, I was never into movies before finding your channel. Thanks for opening up new experiences for me. Good. Man, there's like a million films out there that'll change your perception of the world. Like, give them a chance. That's the great thing about it. Even if what we're producing now is kind of shitty, there's generations of films that have been made before that are awesome and that maybe a lot of people today don't know about. So, damn, I'm out of beer. Daniel Monroe says, Redemption is a movie. Congratulations. Great news. Have another one on me. Thank you. It's not a movie yet. They're trying to make it. But yeah, I mean, fingers crossed it'll happen. Anti-derivative Jill says, do you have an opinion on Scotty's Scottish accent? I could listen to yours all day. Yeah, I mean, look, Jimmy Doohan is an awesome guy and a real treasure, or he was. But yeah, his Scottish accent is something special. It's got real hints of Irish in it at times, and he's a Canadian trying to imitate a Scottish accent. What can you do? So yeah, it's fun to listen to, but yeah, as an actual Scottish person that's heard all kinds of Scottish accents, it doesn't really match up. Gizmoo says, sorry, another writing question. How do you manage tone working on a first draft for a novel and think I've already gone too dark to come back from? I mean, tone's not something I'm consciously aware of. It's just generally you have a style and you have a sort of a way of presenting your scenes that just kind of comes to you. And I don't really think I need to go like a darker tone or a lighter tone or anything like that. It just kind of naturally happens. So I know it's not a very great answer, but it's one of those things that I think is kind of intuitive rather than a conscious effort. Eric Winbird says, great to see you on Friday Night Tights. It was great to be there. It was really good fun. George says, your grasp of the craft of writing is obvious from your critiques, especially Drinker Fixies. Ever thought of doing a coaching series for writers? I don't know, maybe that's me putting myself on too high a pedestal doing like coaching for writers, but I do sometimes do like script writing feedback for people when they've approached me. You know, it's something I've worked on. I've seen people's screenplays and I've done rewrites or edits or given them feedback on it. So that's kind of the closest I've gotten. But yeah, Drinker Fixes is just a nice little like intellectual exercise where I can just think about what I see and try and solve problems. Sorry, I'm just waiting to refresh here. Sometimes it slows down a little bit. Here we go. So RebelScum gave me $50. Thank you, man. And Drinker, you handsome drunk bastard. I love your content. You're always inspiring me to rewatch gems from the past. Good. That's one of the things I love doing. Those posters in the background, the Black Widow and Big Trouble in Little China, are those normal posters, display tech, etc.? No, they're just normal posters that were framed. So, yeah, just standard ones. But yeah, thank you very much for the donation, dude. I really appreciate it. And John Oakletree says, Greenland was a pretty realistic disaster movie. It was all right, actually. I'll give it that. Like, it goes into the nuts and bolts of like how the government would try to manage something like that and try to notify people. I thought it was okay. Like, the ending was a little bit of a cop-out. I would have loved it if it just ended when the meteors hit and then everything just fades to black, so it's kind of ambiguous whether anyone survived or not. I think that would have been like fit with the tone of the movie fairly well. But I understand why they did it. But yeah, it was all right overall. I quite liked it. Lord Thundercock says, please consider Samurai Cop a straight to VHS cinema gem. Yeah. Samurai Cop, something else, man. Love it. I would definitely review that. Ransom G says, what type of editing software do you use? Haven't seen Black Widow yet, but I'm heartbroken because of the intro of your review. If I were to make a review, would you check it out, or do I need more of a reputation? Okay, so to answer the first question, I use VideoPad Professional for doing my editing. It's just a fairly simple timeline editor, but you can do quite a lot with it. So it's handy. You can make it as simple or as complex as you want it to be. So that suits me just fine. I was saddened by Black Widow myself, because I said in my review, and I meant it, I wanted the film to be good. I wanted it to succeed. I wanted, Black Widow and Scarlett Johansson to get that kind of recognition and show, hey, these are the characters that people actually like. But they fucked it because they weren't very good. If you were to make a review, I mean, like, you'd have to let me know, because, I follow a lot of people and stuff. So I would need to know about it when you've done it. But yeah, I'll take a look for sure. I think that's it. Yeah, I think I made it through the super chats. Yeah, I'm just looking through some of the chats now. Lovely drunk. People Under the Stairs from Wes Craven and Existence. Yeah, People Under the Stairs is great. I love how it's like this weird combination of like horror movie and fairy tale. Eep says, where's your Jack Daniels? I've only got, of all things, fucking Corona tonight, because I'm going to be watching the football soon, so I want to stay somewhat sober until the game starts. What's the next one? Yeah, Scythe Brutix says, Winter Soldier was better. They tried to replicate it, but Winter Soldier was more down to earth and had a fleshed out story. Yeah, it did, and it fitted together better with Steve's history and what happened in the previous movie. There was nothing to build off with this when they were trying to bring in like Skeletor and Yelena. And yeah, it just felt like a cheap copy, and it's such a shame. Like, Black Widow really deserved more. Octavian Pedigree says, do you have any guilty pleasure movies that you know are really bad from a writing technical level, but you love anyways, apart from Independence Day? Yeah, there's a ton. Like Armageddon, I fucking love that film. It's so balls to the wall, over the top, like patriotism, rock music, fucking Bruce Willis with a nuclear bomb drilling into an asteroid. It's just so like unapologetically awesome. I can't help but like it. So yeah, things like that are guilty pleasures for me. I think Gary and I have done ones like Con Air. Again, it's kind of dumb, but you can't help but like it. So there's loads of them. I might do a series of guilty pleasure videos because I've done Independence Day and there's loads of other films like that I want to talk about. Daniel Monroe says, do you take the same approach to book reviews, or do you look at it as different? Look at it differently as you're an author? I mean, I kind of apply the same criteria. The difference is, like with movies, you've got so many other factors to think about. The cinematography, the special effects, the actors, the performances, like all of those, the soundtrack, even. All of those things add to your experience, but you don't get any of that with a book. So it's just straight down to the writing, and that's all. So yeah, I still look for good, well-constructed stories and well-written characters, no matter what the medium is. So yeah, I just have to put more into it when it's a movie review. Hard to Watch says, thoughts on the movie Dark City? It's been years since I've seen it, so my memory is not exactly fresh. I remember kind of enjoying it at the time. I think if I was to watch it again, I might get more out of it because I was quite young at the time. But yeah, I would need to give it another look. Ben Flounder says, no nukes. That's some Steve Buscemi's riding the nuke. Wormy Spoon says, I've just completed a screenplay. Drinker, is there any chance you could take a look, maybe offer advice, or just professional feedback would be nice? Well, if you email my business email address that's on the About section on my channel, I'll get back to you about that and try and sort something out. Russ Morgan, is it coming home? I don't think so, man. Not when you're up against Italy. That's going to be a hell of a fucking fight for England. Who knows? Maybe they'll pull it off, but I reckon it'll be a 2-0 for Italy by the end. Will No Time to Die be good? And that's from someone who's got an extremely long name. No, I don't think it will be. I think it's going to be shit, and I think it's going to be really woke. So, no hopes for that whatsoever. Anyway, I think I made it to the end. Oh, no, one more. Matthew Coerca says, I have a working theory that the problems of modern media stem from modernity's nihilism. Yep, that and other things. Older makers believed in an array of things, but with no belief in anyone involved, modern media is hollow. It is, and it's like, you can't just like have earnest fun with a movie. Like older movies had, they might have had humor in them, but they weren't actively making fun of themselves. But nowadays, every action scene has to be like sarcastic, or it has to be like self-deprecating or self-conscious, and isn't this all a bit silly? And it's like, no, you're stopping me from buying into it. You got to take yourself seriously enough that I can take you seriously. And yeah, it stems from that kind of nihilistic view of things. Yami Requiem says, I haven't seen you review animated film and television, Western, Asian, or otherwise. Are there any that you really like enough to review? On that note, have you seen Invincible, or did the boys give you meta superhero fatigue? Yeah, so I have reviewed Castle in the Sky. I was thinking about doing more anime movies because there is a few more that I enjoy. I'm not like a massive anime aficionado, so don't expect loads of stuff like that. The boys, yeah, that kind of burned me out a little bit. Invincible, though, I have heard good things about it, and I am planning to watch it. Whether I'll review it, not sure yet. Nathan Cinder gave me $20, so thank you very much, sir. Marksman of 117B says, have you seen The Wandering Earth? No, I haven't, I'm afraid. I have not seen that, so I couldn't tell you. Scientia says, The Craft sequel is the wokest film I've seen. Yeah, apparently it's meant to be god-awful. Right. Okay, I think I made it to the end. Steve Carruthers says, when can I expect your OG Magnificent Seven review? I will do that for sure because I love that movie. But yeah, I am probably going to have to sign off now because I think I've gotten to the end of all the super chats. But thank you very much to everyone who's tuned in for this. Thank you for all the extra super chats. It's been awesome. You've been so generous. And I'm probably going to go off and get drunk and watch the game. But I hope everyone who's watching this has an awesome evening. And I'll catch you on the next live stream. So thanks very much. But that's all I've got for today. So I'm going to go away now.